Weird things that our ancestors used to do all the time. Our ancestors loved to remind us how much better things were back in the day. From buying a gallon of milk for 5 cents to wearing clothes of a higher quality, they'll be sure to let us know that the way things operate these days is just no good. Yet, a look through a history book might just prove that the way people lived back in the day, depending upon which day you're referring to, might not be all that it's cracked up to be. In fact, some things were just downright absurd. You're not going to believe some of the practices that were more common all those years ago. 1. Sleeping twice a day. During the European Middle Ages, people commonly partook in what is known as biphasic sleep. Initially, they would go to sleep from sunset until about midnight. Then they'd rise from anywhere from 2 to 3 hours. Afterwards, they go back to sleep until the sun came up. 2. Smoking on airplanes and in public places. It's no secret that smoking in public places, like on planes and in restaurants, is largely prohibited today. But not long ago, it was completely legal, encouraged even, to smoke on and in these locations. 3. Beauty products made with radioactive ingredients. While people in modern times know better, during the early 20th century, many people believed that radiation was a good thing. It was even possible to purchase beauty products, drinks, and food that contained thorium and radium. 4. Wearing chopines. It might be hard to believe, but between the 15th and 17th centuries, these uncomfortable 20-inch high platform shoe covers were in fashion. They were worn over the shoe, and their main purpose was to help the wearer avoid getting their clothes muddy. 5. Utilizing bathing machines. When you go to the beach today, you're free to walk right into the water and go for a swim. During the 18th and 19th centuries, however, this wasn't the case. First, you frequently had to use a bathing machine, which would be pulled out into the water so you could take a dip without anyone seeing you swim. 6. Bloodletting to cure diseases. In modern times, people fight diseases with a series of treatments, most commonly medicines and antibiotics. Yet, prior to the 20th century, the most common way to treat these ailments was by bloodletting. Not surprisingly, the person being treated left in a worse state than when they arrived. 7. Using heroin as a cough suppressant. Everyone knows the dangers of using hard drugs like heroin, but in the 1800s up until the 1920s, it was commonly used as a cough suppressant. In fact, it was considered harmless, was actually recommended for children, and was sold in pharmacies around the world. 8. Practicing poor hygiene. During medieval times, many people commonly believed that water would bring on illness, so showering was totally out of the question. Furthermore, many people also believed that lice were special and even referred to them as the pearls of God. Yuck. 9. Knocker-uppers or in-person alarm clocks. From the 1750s through the 1950s, many folks employed personal alarm clocks in the form of people who would knock on their clients' windows using long sticks. They would also shoot at them with pea shooters. 10. Taking photographs with deceased loved ones. It might seem morbid by today's standards, but during the 19th century, it was somewhat common for families to preserve their memories of their deceased loved ones by taking photographs with their dead bodies. The only stipulation was that the person had to be dressed to appear alive in the picture. It was also common for the family to draw eyes on the eyelids so as to make them appear awake. Things sure have changed over the years. Can you imagine someone tapping on your window to wake you every morning? So much for the snooze button. Share these past ways of living with your friends below.